There we go. Bitcoin's had an interesting couple of days. Let me just get it up. So yesterday it actually dipped down below 10,000. It looked maybe but then it did close above 10,000, and now it's right around 11,000, 11,400 or so. So see what happens there. Again, if GBTC, pink sheet stock, but I mean it just basically follows Bitcoin. Lots of liquidity. Yeah, so the OMN, as has been pointed out to me, I didn't realize it was a takeover target also. I had just seen that it was an earnings play. All right, let me just see quickly to see what sort of upgrades and downgrades we have this morning. Not very many. In fact, there was only one up. Well, actually, it's an upgrade by Goldman. This is from briefing.com. I usually, there are some other ones, but there are foreign stocks trading on other exchanges. Dual listings, I should call them. So I usually don't take a look at them, but Goldman, GOL. Let's see what GOL is doing. Upgraded by Goldman this morning. And let's get the downgrades in. Yeah, same sort of thing. In fact, yeah, there's just a lot of what I call the Y tickers, stocks ending in Y. I don't generally look at them. Another one, another Goldman one. This is a downgrade for LTM. Let's see what LTM is doing. So okay, so they've upgraded. These are South American Airlines. They've downgraded LTM and upgraded GOL. Interesting. Let me just see something here. Yeah, so this is the Goldman upgrade, $22 price target for GOL. And let me just see why they have downgraded LTM. It's got to be related, obviously. All right. So, can't believe I'm saying this, but I guess we have to watch FuelCell to see FCEL, if it takes out $1. Look at the volume this week. Oh, man. And that's only in 2 days. 193 million shares in 2 days. All right, so this is, I don't think, I want to make sure, is this an IPO? No, so this, I don't think this is, sorry guys, I should know these things, but I just don't think this is an IPO. I think, again, one of these restructured new names, there is AMCR. So with the new symbol, I don't believe it is an IPO. Let me just quickly check. This would have been a couple of months ago, a month ago. So let me just quickly check. I don't think it is, but Let me just do a quick check. Yeah, I don't see it on my IPO list, so I don't think this is an IPO here. So anyway, bottom line is, look at the volume. And this is an all-time high, AMCR. All right, guys, also, just to let you know, it is now active. The promo code is now active. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer, so let me just bring that up. Give me 1 second here. All right, so here is the promo code, and it is actually active right now. July 4th sale, all in capital letters, right here, all in capital letters. All right, instant 25% savings off the first month or the entire year of a Trade Idea subscription. And again, as always, if you take out say a monthly and you want to upgrade to a yearly, or you take out a standard and you want to upgrade to a premium subscription, if you do it within 30 days, we'll honor the 25% discount. Not sure how long it's going to run for. Probably, I would say at least till Friday night, Eastern time, 11:59. Okay, at least. Yeah, I see that marker is up a little bit here. See, that's what I was saying yesterday. Sort of miss the ones that are down here. Eyes are, of course, drawn to the ones that are up the most. Somebody was mentioning SLS before. Yeah, 20-cent stock. Yeah, I don't typically look at these ones, but then again, fuel cell was 13 cents last week. Yeah, I don't know about that AMCR float. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. I mean, it looks ridiculous, doesn't it? I'd have to do some checking, and I just don't have time to find out. This is probably some kind of a reorganization or a spin-off or something to that effect. Yeah, RST, best bet is to, I don't know how it works exactly in terms of a subscription that you have right now. If you want to upgrade, yes, I'm sorry, yes, it will. Okay, RST, yes, it will. Just contact Kelly. Now that I read your comment further on, yeah. So if you already have a like this goes for anybody. If you have a standard subscription right now and you want to upgrade to premium, or you have a monthly and you want to upgrade to an annual, we'll honor that promo code also. So it's also good for upgrades. Well, yes, it is related to CGC. Only in that, as has been explained to me now, I guess the co-CEO was fired from CGC, and he has come out and said, yeah, I'm looking at investing in another cannabis play, and it could be OGI. That's what he is saying. That's because it's a potential, this has been ongoing, but a potential buyout by Broadcom, and that's with Symantec SYMC. Okay. Right here, okay. Broadcom acquisition news is in advanced talks to acquire Symantec. Okay, that's the reason why it's up. Thank you, William. Excuse me. Now remember, guys, today is a half day, and tomorrow, of course, the market is closed. Seeing if anything else is sneaking in here. And I guess, you know, this expo, I mean, it's hard to know what's going to happen once it opens. It did hit 233 in the pre-market. Basically, I guess the ex-founders of the company have been really bad-mouthing them, and so today they came out with a press release kind of trying to refute everything they're saying. This has happened before, and you can see I was gone last week. Man, oh man, look at that. Wow. That hit 546 last week. So, you know, traders are looking at that, wondering if it can happen again. So, 1 o'clock, Eric. 1 o'clock Eastern. All right, I will. Not very much activity. Remember yesterday, my gap ups and gap downs were full, even in the pre-market. Well, Fuel Cell is holding its own here. FCEL is definitely holding its own. It has not collapsed yet. Boy, I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? Last week, low of 13 cents. High at 22, low of 13 last week. All right, I see that KPTI is starting to give it up. I'm going to stick an alert right here, high in the pre-market, see if it takes that out later on today. The other, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I'm looking at Neophotonics. Let me see what the other reverse splitter is doing right now. Had a very interesting day yesterday as it spiked up to 523. Still kind of holding its own. Remember the reverse split from yesterday. Do not see, no, still no news on it. Again, why we sometimes concentrate on these reverse splits is that if the company does a reverse split and then within a couple of days, even the day of, they announce some news that can really get the stock moving. There's that USNA. So USNA, I mean, this is really gap down huge. Actually, the volume isn't that great though. Spread isn't horrible. Only a 30-cent spread, 62-cent stock or $62 stock in the pre-market. That's not horrible. Volume is not huge yet. Super low float for a only 13 million in the float for a $62 stock. That is that's really low. Yeah, I'm going to stick an alert around 4 on the Yuma. Again, these are not, if you're not used to trading, please do not get too excited about these reverse splits on the day of. You're going to do them Just take fewer shares because they're going to be incredibly whippy. So now, I mean, look at that float, 1 through 15. So in theory, this is less than 1 million shares in the float now. Yeah, about 640,000 if this is. Usually, I mean, to get filled, I mean, usually you have, it's a selection within your order entry that allows pre-market. I mean, I can't tell you how to do it at TD, but you know, within IB, it's a drop down. You can just check fill outside or allow pre-open, something like that. You just have to phone your broker. Well, I don't see why it would be. I mean, it's certainly not in the same sector. If you're talking about similar price range, sure, but I mean, it's not in the same sector. All right, guys. So audio disappearing. I just had I know, of course, the person can't hear me. If you experience, I don't know why this week, but if you're experiencing audio issues, just do a refresh. First of all, I just want to make sure the audio is fine with everybody else. All right. 9:29. Okay, the market's going to open in less than a minute. I'll try to answer your question about the order. I tried it this morning and it seems to be working. Just 1 second. All right, well, I just did it. I mean, there it is. Make sure, you know, it has to be all in capital letters, but, you know, there it is. There's the discount right there. So you must make sure you put it in capital letters. All right, so there's GOL on the Goldman upgrade, guys. There it is, the Goldman upgrade. And we're now open. Okay, guys, again, unless it's stock related, take everything else either off topic or, you know, tech support if you're looking for some tech support, trade ideas. Otherwise, take it to off topic, all right? All right, guys, keep an eye on OSS. OSS, again, had, no, it's an eye-catching press release, obviously. You know, $60 million deal over 5 years. I'm watching actually OSS right here. It holds 2. Yeah, it's struggling to hold 2. Takes this out. This is the only time I take trades in the first 15 minutes are these little ones because that's when they move. Just watching OSS as I'm going to stick an alert right around here. See if it gets above 205 again. Really watching OSS here, guys. See if it really pops here. It just takes this out and the longer it holds two, the better. And I'm talking OSS. All right, guys, I took some. I got in at 208. I'm going to try to put a 2 stop on it. And it could be a quick trade for me. I'm talking OSS 208. Okay, guys, I did take some out at 221, just in case. Quick trade. Okay, I'll get it quickly in here. I hear USNA is firing in my ear here. All right, guys, I just took some more out at 230, 232 right here, 232. Yeah, there's the 200-day is getting closer. 200-day, 249. Yeah, that's right. 249. So no, I open at 9 o'clock. Market beat. I open it every morning at 9 o'clock. Okay, just a second here. I'm going to try to help out this guy who can't hear me. Just 1 second. Yeah, FCEL, look out on the $1. Obviously, big level for it to take out. All right, guys, the OSS may be over. And say I don't have very much left. Look what it did. I mean, it's amazing how this all works. Look what it did. 245, and there's the 200-day moving average. Okay, that's why you have to be. It's the only indicator I really pay that much attention to. Well, real, may I say it? There you go. All right, Marker, nice call by, there's Marker now. There's a pre-market high for Marker, 845. Just looking at some of the other ones that moved in the pre-market. Wow, OSS may not be over. So I don't have that much left, but wow. Oh, if it takes this out, look out. I mean, that's the only thing stopping it right now. The next level would be 266 or so on the weekly. Pops through that 200-day. I mean, it's an eye-catching press release. You know, whether or not they can make any money, it doesn't really matter. Again, we're not marrying these things. Yeah, I certainly can't on gold. You're talking about, oh, this is the old Barrick, okay. You know, obviously gold prices, I don't generally trade gold stocks just because they're just too tied to the commodity. So that's just my way of trading, or not way of trading the gold plays. Yeah, the gold might upgrade, certainly. NIO, all right, NIO. Saw this in the pre-market, a little bit of activity in the pre-market. Wow, look at the volume. Well, let's see, this one does have some room. Let's see, the high is 311 right there, 311 and 305. So 4 weeks ago, the high was 311. If it can take that out, let me see, make sure of that. Yeah, 311 takes that out. Boy, it's got a lot. It's got room to that 4 level for NIO. It's that Chinese car company, right? Yeah. No, I don't mind them. You know, I typically don't play anything under $1. I like to see them break $1. I mean, I don't usually get involved in 20-cent stocks or anything like that, but you know, and fuel cell for me has always been one of those ones I just shy away from, you know, with the Ballard and the plug. But there's no question. I mean, the news of last week obviously is really, you know, pumped the heck out of this. Okay, so Captain, a lot of people, all they had to do is just do a refresh right here, just do a refresh. Okay, and that seems to solve some of the problems. If that doesn't do it, then you're going to have to again disable the hardware accelerator in Chrome. I might have to contact the developer because we seem to be having more issues like that. I don't trade options, no. Yeah, Kratos, KTOS, 2-year high. That 89 strong composite, strong fundamentals, strong technicals for KTOS. Yeah, I mean, look, is it just today that this is done? Yeah, a little bit of a pop yesterday. Again, this is a little bio. I don't know if there's any news on it. I don't see any specific news today. There's Teva on the move. I know they had some news yesterday about, I think they have is it a migraine drug? Well, I mean, when you see this sort of volume, I mean, quote unquote, somebody knows something. Okay, let's see what happens with the market now. I mean, market had a nice pop in the pre-market, and let's see what happens. See, we get at one of those days in which we get a fade, or it continues, or the trend continues up. I'm looking at the gap continuation or reverse. Not too many today. Again, with a shorter day, it'd be interesting to see what sort of action we really get, especially after the first hour or so. Is that Mongo database or something? MDB? Mongo database. Yeah, interesting. I didn't see that in the pre-market. It really didn't. A little bit of action in the pre-market. See if there's any news on it. I don't see any specific news on it for MDB. Yeah, so Amarin, yeah, I know guys were talking about this one. This was a real star yesterday. They have raised guidance yesterday. Big level for it to take out right there, 23.34. It's not that far away, guys. Right there, 23.34, a high. And that week, the same, basically, well, not quite, little bit less. So big level for it to take out would be, I'm going to stick an alert around 23.26. I'll give up some, but if it takes that out, it could have a great run, another great run. So guys, look, I've only I have a little bit of the OSS left just to see if it can, take this level out there. There's that 200-day moving average, struggling to get through. I'm going to get my mark set right here. There's where I got it. And made a sale at 221, little sale at 221, just in case it was not going to continue. And then one at 232. Now, if it can take this out, it still has, even if it gets through that 249, it'll probably still struggle right around that 269 level. So, well, OSS was pre-market. I do add these every morning now, guys. Just click on the pre-market activity tab. You'll see OSS. So I already seen it. So this was pre-market work. Just have to click on the pre-market activity, and there it is, gap up on $60 million deal. Very important to do pre-market work, guys. I mean, sometimes, you know, some of these things that I list in the pre-market, they may not do anything, but all you need is one gem. You know, for instance, like the XSPA was really active in the pre-market, but it's done nothing. You know, I mean, they're popped up to 232. Now it's kind of disappearing. So, I mean, they don't all, just because they're active in the pre-market doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be sustained once the market opens. But the important thing is, you know, to take a look at the news. And again, whether this ends up being fluffy or not, a $60 million 5-year deal looks good as a instant headline. And that's all we're looking for. All right. Well, I'll guarantee it would have shown up in the gap ups too. Earlier than this, but a little pop here for Pinterest pins. Nice, actually, nice break here for Pinterest. PINS. All right, so fuel cell FCEL did not take out $1. It touched it, I believe. It hit a high of $1 and it's dropping. So, you know, again, it's just a psychological level for these smaller stocks to crack. That dollar is going to be very, very tough. Aha, Maxar giving up. Big star yesterday. Had a big run yesterday. Maxar, MAXR, maybe giving it up somewhat here. Underneath 9. Well, that's just me. I just like seeing the whole number break, Alex. You know, all these whole numbers for these, especially the smaller ones, they're just psychological levels for them to get through, in my opinion. So if you remember my commentary, I kept saying I'm waiting to see how well it holds too. You know, I was watching it, you know, seeing how well it was holding too, and that's, you know, I just made a decision, to take it based on the fact that to me it looked like it was holding too well. He's probably Waleed. Yeah, I don't really look at pivots very much. And listen, when I say that, I mean, I got the question, do I look at pivots? When I say that is not to say you shouldn't. I know Real looks at pivot points and all that. I don't really, I just look at the chart, you know, and I look, see where the voids are. Then I make a decision, you know, I'll look at the 200-day, big one, and the VWAP. Those are the two key ones that I'm looking at. But other than that, don't really look at too many other things. But again, that's just me, and that's not to say that you know, you shouldn't. Yeah, a bit of a sloppy one. So what Real is talking about, I mean, that'd be okay, except for that topping tail there. You like to see the bottoming tail again? There's the RBI, red bar ignored. It's not quite because, that topping tail is up there. So, what does that mean? The buyers took it up there. The sellers moved it down on the bottoming tail. The sellers took it down, and the buyers took it here. So, kind of in a state of flux. What you really want to see, the most ideal red bar ignored, the red bar totally engulfed by the previous green one, and a nice long bottoming tail. Because again, what does that signify? You have an uptrend, and then remember, at one point, this was red bar all the way down there. The sellers are trying desperately to knock it down, and the buyers say nope, and they close it there, and then the trend continues. That's kind of the theory behind it all. And I know JetBlue was flying yesterday. Well, I mean, obviously the good thing about it is that it's above yesterday's high, 1902. So 1965 is probably a lot of resistance right around here. 1960. It's on a low float. You like that one, did you? Yeah. So I mean, there's a nice bottoming tail. I mean, it's only 7 cents, but I mean, the bottoming tail again. The sellers tried. There is the high. I mean, if it takes it out, as I said before, that high of 4 weeks ago was 311. So I'll stick an alert around 313. See if it can take it out. That must mean it's bouncing, USNA, bouncing. Yeah, so what Real is looking at, there's the high. I'll stick an alert there. Market is really not doing too much. Had the initial pop, pre-market, not really doing too much. Okay, AQMS, guys. I know somebody mentioned that one before. AQMS, probably, based on what I'm seeing today, I'm not getting very many gap continuation or reverses. So probably if I want to do anything more, probably have to look at the momentum ups and momentum down today a little bit more closely. Well, here's the big level for Amarin. I mean, 2 times, 20, 23, 25, almost there for Amarin. Let's even crack through that. And then after that, I mean, it is not an all-time high, but 2-year high. Got to like that. Look at the stock composite rating, 91. So if you're not familiar with what that rating is, the higher that number, the better. 100 basically is the top. It's a combination. We created a filter that looks at combination of fundamentals and technicals. So if a stock has very strong fundamentals and strong technicals, that number will be high. Okay, OSS looks like it is basically over. These topping tails. So I'm all out of it now. I'm all out of the OSS now. So it's funny, I may take a flyer on this one, you know, take a few shares and just see if it has another run, and not today, but over the next couple of days. Of course, tomorrow's the market's closed, but maybe next week, see what's up with this. That's the SLS, just a flyer, just a flyer. I don't typically do, take these stocks that are so cheap, but you never know. Yeah, still have my price alert set for NIO if it takes it out, and that 313 mark. All right, guys, look at this one. SXTC. I think I'm too familiar with this one. China stock, obviously, it says China in the name, so I'm going to assume it's a China stock. And big pop here. This has halt written all over it, maybe, if it continues. Low float, 8.5 million in the float. Okay, so here we go. There is the news on it. Let me see. Was that today? Make sure that was today. Yeah, that is today. So there's the news for it. So there is some news that is popping this. There it goes. Boy, this looks like it's going to get halted. I don't see any news on the SLS. You know, I didn't dive into it too much, but maybe there, you know, if you go to Twitter or go somewhere else, maybe there is some news. I don't know. All right, guys, Amarin. Okay, well, it is now just taking this out right here. So that high right there, that week, 23.25, 23.28 right now. I feel like I'm calling a horse race here. Morning, Arthur. Okay, 10 o'clock. I'm going to do the links a little bit earlier just because it's a truncated day today. Market is half day. So I'm going to do the links a little bit earlier. I just want to make sure everybody is aware that there is a nice promo right now. Okay, there's NIO, guys. Just going to put this in right here. So we do have a July 4th sale. There is the promo code right there, all in capital letters, okay? Instant 25% savings off the first month or the entire year of a Trade Ideas subscription. So just to give you an idea what that would mean, say a standard subscription. Okay, so that's $267 off, okay? So a standard subscription would be $801 for the entire year. You can also just do a monthly. If you're not sure about, this product, it's $118, but you can. And this is what I would kind of recommend. You get $30 off the first month, and if you really like us, you can always upgrade as long as you do it within a month. You can always upgrade, say from a monthly to a yearly or from a standard to a premium. All right, so it's a great way to try us out. You can afford $88 and you can try us out for the month and see if you like us. I'm trying to be bilingual in my out. American version, out. Drag it out. For those who don't know, I am a Canadian, so that's why some of you say I've got a bit of an accent. One moment, please. All right. I'm just watching the NIO right here. I'm making a decision if I'm going to take it or not. It's just over that high right there, that high of 311. Boy, look at AMC, guys. I mean, AMC is just a disaster still. All-time low. I think I have I might have deleted my alert, so I'm going to stick that alert underneath 9 again for AMC. Just a disaster. Okay, Doug K. So what you do is this is click on your Chrome browser settings, the settings, scroll down to the bottom of that page and click on advanced. And then scroll down a little bit further, and basically what you have to do is disable your hardware accelerator. Once you disable it, then close out of the browser and then reload it. And that should solve the issue, okay? Let me know if that worked. Okay, guys, I'm in the NIO 316. I was waiting. So I'm in NIO at 316. Let's see how well that holds. Yes, okay, so BDoc, let me just get this in here in the just 1 second, please. I'll answer your question in a minute. All right. Okay, so in terms of increasing screen size, okay, I don't go over this enough. I suppose I should, but So there is a magnifying glass right here. All right. Hopefully you guys can see there's a magnifying glass in which you can, zoom out or zoom in. Okay. So you can zoom in on a certain area of the screen if that's what you want. The other thing you can do, and the chat is, and I'm going to have to talk to the developer of the room again, see when this is going to happen. The chat is, you can pop the chat out. The problem is that you don't get all the tabs. If that's, in other words, when you pop it out, you don't get all the tabs. Now that may not be important to you, but if it is important to you, now the other thing you can do is you can reload this. You can reload the room several times. If that makes sense. I know that some people do that. All right. KB, another kudos to you for these call sweeps. What is, okay, I've got to ask you, yeah, it is. I mean, that's how it's always been billed at. Now, guys, I took some out. Sorry, I should have mentioned it. But at 320, what did I get out at? 328. Okay, sorry, guys. Just talking to somebody. All right, looking at. Just going to put my levels in here. Sorry, just put my levels in here. I do this so when I do my video, I don't have to waste time putting the levels in when I do my video. Well, Amarin is ripping now. Before anybody starts typing in a symbol for MDID, Yeah, it's a little acronym that we use. My day is done. My day my day was done with OSS. Oh yeah, I mean, if the stock is moving, I didn't even look at the float, to be honest. Yeah, I'm surprised. Didn't even look at the float. The stock's moving. I mean, obviously the ones that move that can move the most credibly are, of course, are the low float ones. But I mean, if a stock is moving, it's moving. Sometimes the higher float, they can be gentler trades, a little more less stress. One moment, please. Okay, I'm back. All right, well, let's see if now I can take this out right there. Okay, I'm just watching NIO to see if it can take out that high right there. It was like around 320, well, 329, I guess, is the high. 329 is the high. The other thing about the big float is that typically you'll get a good spread, though. There's only a penny spread. Now, the market is just completely flat right now. There's the pre-market action. It's basically just flattened out. But as usual with trade ideas, we can always find the exciting plays. Shameless plug. I think Beyond Meat here, Beyond Meat is BYND is mini rip mode right now. Well, no, Real's been playing K. That was a call sweep. I think another one from KB earlier. I mean, obviously it's just complete move up. On the weekly chart, you're looking at probably some resistance here, 55.87. So it's getting a little bit close. If you think that on that weekly chart last week, the high was around 55.87. So okay, this is actually, here's a little earnings play. Jefferies, the Jefferies Financial Group, JEF. Didn't see it in the pre-market at all. Kellogg's, I really don't know. I don't know if they've jumped on that bandwagon yet. Okay, look at FireEye here. Feye. Okay, so over the whole number, 15, 15, 15, 12. So you look at these weekly candles. So 2 weeks ago, the high was right where it's at now. And a couple of weeks before that, it was basically there too. So takes this out right here, say 15, 16, could have a little run in it. Keep an eye on FEYE. And it's just over the VWAP, 1504. Yeah, I mean, this is a Holly play. I'm sure that's why you're seeing it. Could be interesting. The bottoming tails, the sellers have been trying to knock it down. There's the alert at 1761. Did get as high as 1777. Okay, looks like NIO is over. All right, so there's FireEye, FEYI. What's the volume? A good volume also. Another big float, but so it's just over the highs of those previous 2 weeks ago and looks about 6 weeks ago. No. The picks just pop up from the scan. It's just like here, the gap up, gap downs. All of these, we have no idea which ones are going to pop up any given day. Holly is exactly the same way. Because remember, I mean, the alerts here, sunrise mover, that's just an alert window. It's been optimized 5 day bounce. So just like this is an alert window. These are not optimized or anything like that, but so it's the same principle. So sunrise mover has no idea which ones are going to pop into it today. 5 day bounce, etc. So a lot of it. What's oil doing? It could be, yeah. I mean, it could be. The bottoming tail right there. I still have a little bit of this left. I almost took it out, but minute 316. So, it just popped down to that level. Yeah, so that's a good point, Jazz. The crude numbers are in 10 minutes. So, I would not want to be in an oil play, to be honest. Not knowing which way the what those numbers are going to come out at. So I usually don't take any oil plays until after. No, paradox there isn't. I go through the same thing. It's a few clicks, but it takes me 10 seconds. But there's no really direct access. It's just the way it was set up with the verification at all. Okay, so Magic giving it up a little bit. SYMC, again, rumor on the AVGO potential buyout. Yeah, you're right. I mean, same security sector. You're absolutely right. All right, guys. So I'm going to go over the links a little more detail right now. So first of all, if you're new to the room today, welcome to the room. This is the format of the room every day. I open the room at 9 o'clock Eastern time, and I go up to 3:30 Mondays to Thursdays, and up to 3 o'clock on Fridays. Of course, today 1 o'clock. Markets only open half a day. I'll stick around though. Any questions, of course, afterwards. If you have trade ideas and you'd like some of the scans that you see on the monitor that I'm sharing, plus I have scans on my other two monitors, you can click on the scans tab right there, and they're all right there. Hopefully, I've named them so they make sense to you. Or you can click on the Room Drive folder. Looks like a half open, or icon looks like a half open folder. And scans that I share, click the download, and it'll go into a Word document, and you can then take a look at them at your leisure. I'm going to go over some of the links right now. Again, the links from that half open folder, downloads, you can take a look at all the links. And so I've talked about the subscription. Again, we have the big promo, 25% off, probably at least until Friday night, Friday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. It may last through the weekend. I just don't know. I haven't seen the actual, we sort of jumped the gun on it. I haven't seen the email yet. And of course, the big difference between our standard service and our premium service is Holly. And this is what Holly is. So we have what we call about 50 baseline strategies. So at the end of today, Holly will take today's market data and then look at each one of the strategies. Now, this is not one of them, but if it were, here are the filters in this particular one, low floaters on the move. Here are the filters. So she would look, and the Holly strategies have way more filters, but she would go through a filter and take a look and maybe make a change to the value. So say I'm going to change that from 50 cents to $10 the range. I'm going to change it to $1 and $10. Runs the optimizer, runs the back tester, and sees how does that affect the profit factor and win percentage. If it doesn't do very much, maybe she goes to another filter and makes a change. Maybe she actually takes out a filter and adds in a filter. So you can see that it's a tedious process that even for us to try to do one strategy, it would take quite a while. And obviously, we could never do 50 strategies, but that's what Holly does every evening. And then on Friday, we'll be presented with the strategies that made the cut. Typically, a profit factor of at least 2 and a win percentage of at least 60. I see this one is just slightly under. If you want to, and then once the market opens, then you are presented. You don't have to do anything. You just, Holly will just alert you. There's our entry price. There's the last price. If Holly gets out, you'll see the exit price. So you don't really have to do anything. They're just presented to you. You have to make up your own mind whether or not you want to trade them, of course. If you're looking for a description of what is a sunrise mover, what is it looking for, you can click on that link and it'll tell you what all 50 of the strategies are looking for. Training Monday to Thursday at noon Eastern. And webinars, we're not on a regular webinar schedule this week, but once we're back to normal, Monday to Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern, they're all archived. You can download, you should have the latest version of Trade Ideas. If you don't know what you have, click on Help and About. You should have 4.2.81. I'm on a development version, but the latest version that you can have is 4.2.81. You can take out a demo of Trade Ideas using that link. And I do a daily video between 1:15 and 1:45 every day. You can click on that link and sign up for them. I'm going to go over Brokerage Plus right now. Just give me a second here. Oh, don't tell me I actually accidentally closed down the room. I don't think so. Just have to find the... All right, guys. Oops. All right, guys. I think we've got an echo now. Okay, I know you're going to get an echo. Just give me a second here. Test. Ah. Yes. Yeah. Test. Well, I'm hearing. You guys must hear an echo. Because I'm hearing. Yeah. Okay, guys. I may have to shut the room down. So come on back. Okay, so I'm going to have to shut the room down.